Alrighty, y'all. Gonna do a quick video. Um, man, what do you know? It's like every week I say I'm busy. I am moving from north of Atlanta to Greenville, South Carolina. I'm really excited about it. It's just from a timing perspective, it's next Friday. So today's the 14th, tomorrow is the 21st. And then, as you all know, it's nationals the week after. So I will be moving to another city, state, both, um, next week. But I have to leave again for Kansas, my home away from home, on Sunday the 16th. I get back on Wednesday, and I will be home Wednesday, and I pretty much have to be finished moving by Thursday, pack Friday, unpack Saturday. Now we have a whole crew of movers, so we're fine. We hired a crew, but still, it's a lot of prep work I have to do. And then, so I'll be settled into South Carolina on Saturday the 22nd. And then it will be Sunday, Monday, and then I will drive back to Atlanta Tuesday for a concert. I will drive back Tuesday night, and then Wednesday I am going to nationals. So I took today off um, to pack, and I said I wanted to get two videos out this week, which I still will. I'm gonna do one tomorrow or Sunday morning. Uh, but I said I wanted to do two videos, and just between work and packing, it was just crazy. I'm not gonna do a long video for this because a lot of one, I've shown this defense plenty of times, and then two is a lot of this concept, the offense, is from Josh Potrat's his nativity offense, and I had a very similar one, and so I had mine. I looked at his outline. I saw kind of what was different, um, and went from there and made a few edits based on Josh's. Um, but a concept I've been talking about for quite some time is a concept that both Jake, uh, Antoinette, Agar the Wise, and Josh P. Both are using in their decks, and that's add to battle. So I really wanted to talk about that quickly of just how strong add to battle is. It's one of the strongest concepts, if not the strongest concept, uh, since since it was created. And this particular deck uses Sheol, Gates of Hell, so two good or two evil, and then good seed, and Temptation in the Wilderness. So two evil and two good. So we really kind of want to harp on the add to battle. We still have Resurrection, which is not an add to battle, but it is very much like a play first. It is adding to battle in the sense that it's a band, but it has to happen while you still have a hero. I think You Will Remain can also come in here. I think that'd be fine. And I'm not sure if I would do anything else, but from a Nationals perspective, I have always said you need three Soul Gen pieces. And if you have three Soul Gen pieces and they're all neutrals, then if I negate your neutrals, then you have no Soul Gen pieces. So just be mindful of what your Soul Gen pieces are. I've always say you need three in a deck, and if all three are the same type, like if they're all heroes, then one Confusion of Mind stops your um, Soul Gen. So just differentiate um, your Soul Gen. So try to have, so when we're looking at, I've had a lot of people talk to me about ratios lately, and I have every single day a phone call, multiple phone calls, messages, texts, DMs, Discord about redemption. I love it. I get so many questions, and I love it. Keep them coming. If you have any sort of questions, just ask. Like, I mean, I will genuinely tell you, hey, I might not know this answer. This might not be your best source, or you could ask this person instead. I have been playing a long time, so I have a good bit of experience under the belt. If you want to ask a question, I just genuinely love getting questions and asking people um, what they're playing as well. Like, what are you seeing? What do you like? And then, so I just like talking Redemption. I mean, as you could tell, I have a channel where I literally just talk by myself about Redemption. So, um, from a Soul Gen, make sure you have three Soul Gen pieces for Nationals, um, and make sure they are not all one and the same, meaning like they're not all heroes or they're not all neutrals. Like you can have Lawless, Imitate, Harvest. Those are all neutrals. If you're like, oh well, I added Ends of the Earth, well, that's still a neutral. So um, just make sure you have different pieces there in your deck to generate Lost Souls. I always talk about knowing your deck, playing quickly, but not too like hastily. Make sure you're making the right choices, but you know what you're doing. And then the add to battle. I really think add to battle is very. I know add to battle strong. Um, Add to battle could also be Unknown Nation for evil. It could be Unholy Writ. Like I know that's not an add to battle, but any sort of outside of battle block like this, like this deck, I can add Kingdoms of this World. So if you play Dominant, I can do something. Anything outside of battle that I can influence what's happening in the battle is really good. So what this deck does is it has both Shield, where Highwayman plays Shield really quick, and Jerusalem. I like playing Jerusalem early as well. Same with Shield, because if you search and I have Shield out, I don't have to block you. I don't need to have Jay's deck to Soul Hide. If I have a turn one Shield all the time, and then with Jerusalem, if I can grab Jerusalem and I can grab Good Seed, Bethlehem Stable, Jerusalem, Good Seed. I am getting 3 cards from my reserve every turn. I am drawing 3 and then gaining an additional 3 every single turn. And look at all the good nativity cards I have for Beth Stable in my reserve. Look at all the enhancements I have for Good Seed. And then every single card in my reserve, boop, boop, is a Jerusalem target, which I will be talking about that point in a second about constructing your reserve and making sure your targets are correct. So I can go Beth Stable, Jerusalem, and once I get Good Seed going, that's 3 additional resources right there. Oh, what do you know? I have New Covenant. I am gaining 4 resources a turn on you without drawing over here, without searching, without doing anything prep. Well, I don't want to say prep phase, but this is upkeep, and this is my prep phase. So I have 3 upkeeps to net me 3 resources, and then my prep phase for my artifact. I'm gaining 4 resources on you before I attack, and I have add to battle. The biggest thing with add to battle is I can have add to battle, and if I have a hero, great. If I don't have anything to play on that hero, then add to battle isn't that great. I have to generate resources for my add to battle because I got a bunch of really strong angels. I wanted Temptation in the Wilderness, and I also think Temptation in the Wilderness on these 2, if I have them down. Usually I'm not going to have Deceiver down because he breaks my Shield Unity, but if I already use the Add to Battle on Shield, then I can put down one of the 2. I don't like to put it both down. But I can come in and have Temptation down, and I get to choose the hero and get the exchange. That's really good. That's really, really good. So just keep in mind how your cards interact with each other. A little heavy on the enhancements. I'm going with the Agur call. Jake the Wise, Agur the Wise, of Judas first turn as an evil character can grab carcasses for CBN. And then Judas as a hero is just phenomenal. So very versatile in this build. Repentant Thief is pretty much always an evil character. Zacchaeus is pretty much always a hero in this build, but he can be both. I don't have a way to an efficient way to bounce him outside of plunderers, so I do have to be mindful. Usually he's a hero because of my add to battle. So yeah, it's pretty straightforward. I did want to talk about soul gen pieces, add to battle pieces, and generating resources. Make sure you can generate resources, um, whether that's by and don't. When I say generate resources, that doesn't mean, oh well, my evil characters block. Like that doesn't mean generate resources. You need to be able to generate resources outside of. Um, they can't be based on what the opponent does. So you need to be able to generate your own resources. So yeah, we have pretty much a kind of a standard build of nativity with, I just say, high resource adding and add to battle as well. Just very good concepts in the game. It's a very strong deck overall. Virgin Birth, Hopper, 50 cards, add to battle, strong defense, grabs a lot of resources. Me personally, I say I modified the deck a little bit because I still run kind of like a rush to Star of Bethlehem Heavenly Host. So I still like to do that in Nativity where I can get the draw 6 with the star because Flight into Egypt with an entire CBN protected band is extremely good. So I personally think Star of Bethlehem for the draw 6 that is used as a battle winner for me in nativity builds is better. But I did say I was kind of modifying this looking at Josh P's build. I'm not going to do like a whole crazy goldfish. I don't think that's fair to take one of my decks, look at Josh's, make a couple changes, and then show you kind of how it plays out. I feel like people need to do their own research on that if they want to just literally rip decks from others and put them in Lackey and then play against yours. You should be doing that. You should be going against any deck that you find on Jaden's channel. If you see anything on mine that you like, if you see anything on either Discord that you like, you should be ripping that deck list. If you're like, hey, I want to be top 10, top 15 at Nats type 1, you should be ripping decks, plugging them into Lackey or physical cards, and playing against yourself. As silly as it sounds, you need to be doing that. Because you better win, right? You're playing yourself. You better win. Take this deck. Play against it. Are you winning? Like, if not, make some modifications. Reach out. Reach out to me, Jaden, Josh, Jay. I don't care who you reach out to. Reach out to people. So we'll do a quick load it all over. Put that to the side for now. I'm just going to run through one. So a lot of people like Soul Surfer, and I've been saying for a while, Nativity is Soul Surfer, but within one theme. And I say that because when we look at Nativity, I'll just show you some cards that kind of say what my point is. Magi, Joseph, Gabriel, and then Mary in reserve. And then there's also Messianic Messenger. Completely forgot about that one. So Messianic should probably be in here because of Temptation in the Wilderness. But you have 4 heroes that can grab their own card. And really, if I have Messianic in here, then when I look at my build, you know what? This is the right build. I think Messianic comes in over Eminem. Where'd you go, Eminem? Yeah. I think Eminem comes out for Messianic, and The Child is Born comes into the deck, and Eminem goes into reserve. So we just do a little shuffle. That'd be a 1-for-1 swap, so we're still at 50 and 10. And then bringing in Messianic would be 51. And I think that's okay because remember, we have Hospitality that can grab Mary, Shepherds, Mary or Shepherds, and then Child is Born that can grab all 3 heroes. But yeah, if I'm redoing this build, then I'm bringing in Messianic Messenger. But I say all that because we have a lot of heroes in Nativity that grab all their own resources. So when people are really, they are playing Soul Surfer, they're rebuilding that deck and playing it at tournaments. And I'm like, cool, that's great. Nativity does that and then some. So they're two different decks. They play different. You have angels that are going to Matthew as well. I'm just giving you kind of a thought process. So, all right. Anyway, let's look at our stars. Highwayman. I don't want to top deck a dominant from each hand because I like having Angel of Lord first turn. Top deck a New Testament star card from deck. Any sort of top decking I do determines if I'm going to use Darkness or not. And Darkness on first turn, the whole point of this deck as well, if you look at the Lost Souls, I have Galileans, Lawless right there. Lawless, Imitate, and Darkness. It's just helping me get to, and Prosperity. It's just helping me get to a stronger block turn one. And sure enough, we did it. We already have Highwayman and we have Darkness, so I don't need to do any sort of star abilities, and I don't want to lose my dominant. So I get the draw. The Hopper is going to go over, and I get to use Darkness. And if on a turn one, unless they have a Protector Lost Soul out, then I'm grabbing Repentant Thief. There could be a scenario where I grab Mocking Thief for turn one, just snag your best enhancement and go from there. But most of the time I'm just going Condemned Thief, and I'm taking an enhancement from your hand. So I really like Judas in this build because turn one, he's just devastating to get around. He is so good, especially with thieves, of course. Like, I get it, he is a thief, but he's a disciple and thief. But if I play him as a hero, so let's say I go first and I put Judas down as a hero, that makes my Condemned Thief that much better this turn. So it's really good. I do not have a Golgotha in this build. That's kind of something I would like. I like having the Cross and Golgotha and Ambushing Bandits to where it's just a lot you have to get around. So yeah, if I look at my attack first turn, I have a very good Magnifying Multitude. So I can play Wages of Sin and get a discard. And I can go right into a Jerusalem, or yeah, just right into a Jerusalem is really good because Sheol is not. And if I'm weary about putting Condemned Thief down too. And they're going to have hand advantage, of course. Like, ta-da, I'm at 3. So now X equals number of cards in hand, so it would be 5 when I draw 2. But I can Bantu a Nativity hero or take a star card from deck. I could be a 3-3 that takes a star card with Angel Lord in my hand. Not bad at all. Or I can be a 12-12 that essentially negates evil cards. Like, not bad. Enhancements can go through. Like, you got to watch that. It's kind of like a... He's not great. That's why I was talking about Messianic Messenger would be really good. But either way, I get a draw 2. There's really no point in me not banding right there. Like, you would ban there. I'm sorry. I just kind of pushed Eminem out. But it should be Magi to Magnifying Multitude. And then it's Eminem. I can hastily drop an Angel Lord. I said not to play like that, but I can drop an Angel if they're blocking me turn 1 with an evil character. More than likely they have something, or like a Scattered, and you can play the Angel and move on with life. I already played my 1 TCE. I feel comfortable here with a Falling Away, Condemned Thief, and Highwayman, and I already got my Jerusalem for next turn, and I did get my token. Ba-ding. So make sure you do that when it comes in. So now if they attack, I go into Highwayman, And I go right to the Sheol, good to go. Go to the Condemned, and then I hate to say it, but I might have to play that Falling Away. You would never know. Like you're at an 11 defense, so not bad. And then you would look at their hand and see what you can take. They can't draw because of Judas. And we already have our upkeep trigger. You want to get your upkeep triggers out. The sooner the better. If you're adding a bunch of upkeep triggers, then you need to know that the later you get them, the less value they have. Also, with Jerusalem, it can be a neutral or a fortress. So when you play Jerusalem, um, if you play it as a site, you better only have like one. Like I could play Jerusalem as a site in this deck because I'm not drawing a ton and I have Sheol. I can put a Lost Soul in Jerusalem and get potential kind of not site lockout, but a little stall here with Sheol as a potential underdeck. But that makes Jerusalem a neutral, and they're a lot easier to negate neutral. If the opponent is playing silver, then you know it's going to be easy for them to have Chamber to negate evil cards in your territory. But they also have Resurrection Revealer. So you just got to be mindful of how you play Jerusalem. It's the same ability, just do you play it as a site for a neutral or Fortress as an evil card. That also means if they play 3 woes is good, they could always target Jerusalem. Either way, I have my upkeep. I would move a random to the top of my reserve. And what do you know? And we're still in upkeep, so Imitate comes down. It's a May, so I finish. No, Imitate comes in. It's not if put in play, but it is put in play, so the ability activates, and it's a May. So I get my Imitate copy, which I could do a token, unless they had like a Galileans or something. Remember, you can copy theirs. And then I could go to my reserve. So at this point, remember, we are talking about gaining value early from upkeep, and we like add to battles. You cannot look over at your hand, so I'd have to remember that I have an Angel Appears. If I take Good Seed, then I don't get to play an Angel Appears, but then I have the add to battle and the ongoing upkeep add. Or I have Temptation of the Wilderness, which is also the add. I'm going to take Good Seed. I'm going to forego my Angel Appears. And I'm done with all my upkeep triggers. I'm going to play Good Seed. I'm going to play Best Stable. And then we can't really do anything with Angel Appears. We're going to have hand advantage. I like Thieves with Nativity, so I can recover if I get my hand low on an attack. So you just got to watch out for how you play Nativity if you get your hand too low. From here, we can take a star card from deck. We'd be no longer susceptible to a Christian Martyr because we have our Good Seed. So I think we're really good here to go out with the Magi and opt out of the band and go to taking a star card from deck. I like the Annunciation in main deck. Didn't give myself a ton of targets for the Magi. Kind of an oversight on my part, to be honest. Honestly, that's why Josh doesn't have him in his deck. So I like Magi Messianic Messenger in my deck, but I just need to make sure I have targets for them. That's all. So oversight of my deck, which brings me back to a point. Remember, I said that already. Brings me back to a point, and I never said the point. As this phase, we are. Let's see the calendar. That's my moving date. Nationals, and this is quote unquote main day, right? This is type 1. You have 2 weeks. In these 2 weeks, you need to make sure every single card in your deck is memorized, and for type 1, and every single card is under the microscope in your deck. Like you have a 50 card deck or 57 card, or you're Joe Schaefer and you got a 58 card deck and you got a 10 card reserve. Let's just say it's a 50 card deck, 10 card reserve. I want all 60 cards. You are looking at every single one. You take your 7 or 8 lost souls. Is there any other lost soul that can be better than this? And you look at every other lost soul. If you're playing me, say you got an easy job. But you look at every single lost soul. Is there a better lost soul? What's going on at the meta right now? You look at every single dominant. The big thing that I see is people have cards in their reserve and they don't have a way to get them, or they have one way to go get their card in the reserve. So make sure that you have every card in your reserve. We don't need the calendar up. Every card in your reserve that you have ways to get it, and you know why that card is in your reserve. You should get to your reserve quickly, and you should use your reserve better than the opponent if you want to win. Um, so yeah, make sure every single card, do it in groups, souls, dominants, characters, everything is broken down. Why is this card in here? Do I need any other card? And then also look at your ratios. Are you drawing enough heroes opening turn? Like, break it down. Do some division. What are the odds that you don't get a hero first turn, and go from there. So yeah, that's about it. I grabbed the Annunciation for Magi. More than likely, I have Initiative, which is nice because I could play Angel Appears, and I could go to my deck because I would have hand advantage. I like getting Gabriel. There's just a lot of angels in this build to where I can get all sorts. Not really sure, but I remember I do get to ban when I play this in battle. So if you grab, like, let's say I grab Legion of Angels, then if it's one hero in there, then I get the protection. So just remember I have the Annunciation in my hand, so I get the negate cards except Nativity. So whatever angel I grab, I can bring them into battle. I can grab Resurrection Revealer and go to a Gospel Dominant, Legion of Angels. I can get the draw 2 and the protection. I can get Expatriator with the negate and underdeck and band. I'd rather go to Gabriel because I want to negate, and I probably just want to reserve something, knowing that I have Annunciation. So reserve an evil card from their deck. Like, if I can hit their Falling Away, that's not only a potential block, it's also for me because they're going to use it as a rescue. It's just, there's too much flexibility. If I go to Gabriel and reserve Falling Away, it's also difficult for them to get back. So I like that. And then I can play the Annunciation, which remember it would negate Angel Appears, but I have some options. Angel, Lord, Annunciation. So if I play the Annunciation, it would kick out Gabriel, and then I would get a Dominant, which I'm fine with that, assuming I'm going to win. If not, I can grab Resurrection as my Dominant. I can play Chamber. Put down Chamber. And I can ban 3. Remember, Nativity only is working right now. If I needed the numbers, which, let's be real, like, I don't think I would need a 1/6. I don't want Judas to be vulnerable. So, and then I would get the draw 2 and take a good or neutral Nativity card from reserve or deck if they have hand advantage. I don't know. If I have 7 at this point, I'd probably activate Joseph first and get the good Nativity card from deck. But in this case, it's good to go to reserve. There's plenty I would want here. So yeah, I'm not going to go through it all. It's all hypothetical. Like I said, I really want to talk about resources, garnering resources, and add to battle, because the biggest thing here is I already have my add to battle where I'm hitting your hand or drawing, and then next go around on my Wages of Sin, I just put down my Gates of Hell, and pretty much by turn 3, turn 4, you should have we could say turn 4, you should have everything out. And by everything out, I mean all 4 add to battles. Now, games are trying to go to 3 turns, like people are trying to win in 3. Um, it doesn't mean they're always happening. And if you get that add to battle early on and you use it, the game heavily just swayed in your favor, whether it was a rescue or a block, whatever you did. Um, if you got a rescue on them with an add to battle, that's massive. If you got the block, it's going another turn if you need it to. So that was the main thing I wanted to talk about. So I hope y'all enjoyed. I'll do more of a different deck and a breakdown, I think tomorrow. Should be able to go tomorrow. So hope y'all enjoyed, and we will talk in person soon, hopefully, at Nationals. So see y'all.